Blood, your crimson lifeblood. I don't want anything else from you since nothing can match its power. Blood School mages are masters of murder. They prefer the use of spells that poison the opponent and allow them to move like shadows. Their most formidable weapon is Hashimer, an avatar of death that they unleash against their opponents. By taking advantage of the special evocations called Hashimer actions. Command of Hashimer through these spells empowers the mages of the Blood School to unleash his fury against their enemies. Key elements of the spells: kill opponents, melee damage, movement, Hashimer actions, poison, heavy damage on a single target, combinations with Hashimer presence. Affinity with other schools, transmutation, enchantment, and myth. Hello geeks and gamers, Geek here with another random video. Today I will be continuing my School Compendium collection with the Blood School magic. Here's the Blood School card. The elements in this deck are Profane, Water, Fire, and Wind. The first starting Grimoire is Blood Corruptor. You get 1 copy of Boiling Poison, 1 copy of Blood Corruption, 1 copy of Assassin's Omen, 1 copy of Bury, 1 copy of Sadistic Lamentation, and 1 copy of Scarlet Flower. The second starting Grimoire that you can choose from is called Bloodbath. You get 1 copy of Blade Tornado, 1 copy of Death Knell, 1 copy of Horrible Bleeding, 1 copy of Easy Target, 1 copy of Flaming Blades, and 1 copy of Drain Blood. Some Blood School spells assign poison tokens to the enemy mages. These allow you to gain some perks in addition to inflicting damage with a delayed effect. Through the effects of the Blood School spells, it is possible to assign poison tokens to opposing mages. A mage cannot have more than 3 poison tokens assigned to it. The excess ones are discarded. It is not possible to assign more than 12 poison tokens in the game. A defeated mage must still keep all poison tokens. Whenever a poison token is assigned to an opposing mage, place a damage cube directly on the token. Using the color of the mage who inflicted the status, any effect that heals a mage can be used to remove a poison token along with the temporary damage cube on it. Instead of removing a damage cube from that mage's sheet, all poison tokens will only cause damage if they remain on the mage into the following cleanup phase. In the cleanup phase, all poison tokens assigned to a mage are discarded, and the damage cubes that were on the poison tokens are moved to the victim's sheet, even if the mage is in their cell. The affected mage then discards cards from their hand based on the damage suffered. 1 to 2 damage, discard 1 card. 3 damage, discard 2 cards. And these will get discarded to your memories. The first spell I will be going over is called Scarlet Flower. On the straight or light side, it is a trap type spell, fire element, and room target type. And it's triggered the next time a mage is defeated. Inflict 2 damage and assign 1 poison token to all models in adjacent rooms. So when triggered, or depending on where the defeated mage was at, all mages that are opposing in adjacent rooms to the defeated mage will receive 2 damage and 1 poison token. On the reverse, or dark side of Scarlet Flower, the spell type, element type, and target type remain the same, and it's also triggered when a mage is defeated. Each poison token he or she has also counts as damage from you when calculating the biggest contributor to the defeat. This is very handy when breaking ties, so any poison tokens they have that has your color on them will count towards overall damage on them. Pretty much ensuring that you get the kill and the trophy token. The next spell in this school is Sadistic Lamentation. It is a shield type spell. Element is profane, and the target is yourself. Ignore the next damage you receive. Then convert 1 damage and assign 1 poison token onto the target that attempted to inflict the damage on you. On the reverse, or dark side of Sadistic Lamentation, the spell type remains the same. The element turns to water, and the target is also yourself. The next damage you suffer, whoever attacked you, suffers 1 damage for each poison token he or she has. Assign 2 poison tokens if the target has none. The next spell in this school is Bury. On the straight or light side, it's a contingency spell, element type of water, and the target is yourself. Until your next spell or physical action, you cannot suffer any damage, gain 1 power point. On the reverse, or dark side of Bury, it is a contingency spell, the element type is water, and the target is a single model up to 1 space away. Target mage loses a physical action if he or she doesn't have a physical action left to take. They lose 2 power points instead. The next spell in the school is Assassin's Omen. It is a combat spell. Element type is profane, and it's a room target type. Anywhere on the board. Shift into a room with a mage that has at least 1 poison token. You may then attack. It has the dot in the center of the card. So you place 1 instability token of your color in the room that the spell is cast from. On the reverse, or dark side of Assassin's Omen, it is a combat spell. The element type remains the same, but the target type changes to yourself. Until the end of the turn, every time you attack a mage with at least 1 poison token, you gain 1 power point. So far, the theme of the Blood School of Magic consists of applying poison tokens and then moving around, attacking mages that have those tokens, or teleporting or shifting to them, doing damage and gaining points off of them. So there's a lot of synergy there. It works very well with Eliumbra, obviously, because this is his favorite school. And his unique spell is also from the Blood School of Magic. The next spell is Blood Corruption. On the straight or light side is a combat spell. Element type is water, and it's a model up to 2 spaces away. Inflict 1 damage and assign 3 poison tokens to the target. It has the dot in the center of the card. So you place 1 instability on the room that this spell is cast from. On the reverse, or dark side of Blood Corruption, the spell type, element type, and target type all remain the same. Inflict 1 damage, and convert 1 damage for each poison token the target has. Since each mage can only have 3 poison tokens on them, you can do a total of 3 damage to them, as well as convert 3 tokens from 1 color to your color. Some of these spells are very handy when taking out mages. They ensure that you actually get the kills, as well as the most points. So if you're using this school, you want to be hitting up every mage that you can and taking them out, because that's where you're going to get most of your points from. And if you have the mages like Eliumbra on the asymmetric side, You get extra points for every trophy token you have. That's very beneficial. The next spell in this school is Boiling Poison. On the straight or light side, it's a combat spell, element type of fire, and the target is yourself. You may move one space and attack. If Hashimer is in an adjacent room, choose inflict 2 or more damage, or use a Hashimer action. This is the first spell that actually is going to incorporate the Hashimer model into your playstyle. On the reverse or dark side of Boiling Poison, it is a combat spell, element type of fire, and the target is a model type up to 2 spaces away. Inflict 3 damage and assign 1 poison token to the target. So this spell will either help you with your poison strategy, or it'll help you with your Hashimer strategy. The next spell in the school is Drain Blood. It is a combat spell, element type of water, and it's a model up to 1 space away. Defeat the target mage if it has at least 6 damage. Resolve the defeat normally if Hashimer is in a room up to 1 space away. You gain an additional power point. In the center of the card, it has the dot, so you place 1 instability in the room that the spell is cast from. On the reverse or dark side of Drain Blood, the spell type and element type remain the same, but the target is up to 2 spaces away. When cast, you convert 2 damage on the target, then heal 2 damage on yourself. If Hashimer is in a room up to 1 space away, you inflict 1 damage to the target. So with Drain Blood, this allows you to combo with Hashimer and do extra things. The next spell in this school is Flaming Blades. On the straight or light side, it is a combat spell, element type of fire. It's a room target type up to 2 spaces away. Select 2 different rooms, inflict 2 damage to all the models in the target rooms. And this allows you to actually use one of your Hashimer actions. And the reverse or dark side of Flaming Blades, the spell type and element type remain the same, but the target is yourself. This allows you to summon the Hashimer action, Fire Dash. Then you may move 1 space. So this is the first spell that allows us to summon our Hashimer action, and there are 5 of those. 1 copy of each, and each one is different. And this one allows us to summon the Fire Dash one. The next spell in this school is Easy Target. It is a combat type spell, element type of Profane, and a model up to 2 spaces away for the target. Transfer up to 3 of your damage onto the target. Shift Hashimer into the target's room. With the side of the spell, it brings Hashimer more into your play. And like with the last spell, if you had summoned an action, this allows you to put Hashimer in the room with the target mage. And then if you have another spell that allows Hashimer to act, you can do what the Fire Dash spell, you can do what the Hashimer action says. On the reverse or dark side of Easy Target, the spell type and element type remain the same, but the target is yourself. This one allows you to summon the Hashimer action charge, then you may move 1 space. The next spell in this school is Horrible Bleeding. It is a combat spell, element type of water, and the target is a model up to 2 spaces away. Inflict 3 damage to the target, then 2 damage to a different target, 1 space from the first one. It's got the dot, so you place one instability in the room that the spell is cast from. On the reverse, or dark side of horrible bleeding, the spell type and element type remain the same, but the target is yourself. This one allows you to summon another Hashimer action, but this one is Slaughter. Then you may move one space. The second to last spell is Death Knell on the straight or light side. It is a contingency spell, element type of wind, and the target is one model up to 2 spaces away. You may move Hashimer 2 spaces, and then use a Hashimer action. On the reverse, or dark side of Death Knell, the spell type and element type remain the same. The target is yourself. This allows you to summon the Hashimer action, Death Knell. Then you may move one space. This is the one spell I was referring to earlier that allows you to actually move the Hashimer model and then use one of your Hashimer actions. Your death is definitely knelled once Hashimer starts moving around and using the actions. And the final spell in this school is Blade Tornado. It is a combat spell, the element type of wind, and the target type is a room, but it affects the room you're in. Inflict 2 damage to all models in all adjacent rooms, and then you use one Hashimer action. On the reverse side of Blade Tornado, it is a combat spell, element type of wind, and the target type is yourself. And this one allows you to summon the Hashimer action, Devastating Attack. Then you move one. Here's the first of the 5 Hashimer actions. Death Knell. The evocation type is Hashimer action. And on the upper right hand corner, it has a fading counter of 1. So during this cleanup phase, you'll remove this card from play. And Death Knell. Hashimer can move 1, then inflict 1 damage to a model up to 1 space away. You can shift your mage into that model's room and attack. Depending on how you set your combos up, you can move Hashimer. And then if you are able to actually use one of your actions, you can use Death Knell. And then you do the effect, and after Death Knell plays through, then your mage can actually teleport into the room, as well as attack. The next Hashimer action is Charge. It also has the fading counter, so it stays into play for 1 turn. Hashimer can move 2, and then inflict 3 damage to a model that's in his room. Third Hashimer action is Slaughter. It also has the fading token. Hashimer can move 1 space, inflict 3 damage to a target model that's in the same room as Hashimer. Then that target will receive 1 poison token. This action works in combination with your poison cards. The next Hashimer action is Fire Dash. It also has a fading token. Hashimer can move 2 spaces, inflicting 1 damage to all models in the rooms it passes through, including the destination room. So if you want Hashimer to do more damage to your opponents, Fire Dash is the one for you. Every room he zips through, all the opponents will receive 1 damage. Devastating Attack, like the other 4, it has a fading token. Hashimer inflicts 2 damage in the room he's in. So every opposing model that's in the same room with Hashimer will receive 2 damage. Then Hashimer inflicts 2 damage to a single model, up to 1 space away. So if you're using this action, Hashimer's basically going to go in to smash all opposing models in the room he's in, and then he reaches his long hammer into a room up to 1 space away and deals another 2 damage to a target there. Very good for room clearing. And here he is, the big guy himself, Hashimer. Now, unlike all the other evocations in play, Hashimer is a unique model, whereas he starts the game in the Black Rose room, and he never leaves play. He's always on the table until the game is over. So anytime you're targeting an opponent that has a Hashimer action, like if you want to remove it or whatever, the spell that you have, you aim for the space that Hashimer is on, and then if successful in casting that spell, any opponent that has one of the 5 Hashimer actions, you can choose one of them to remove it. Otherwise, Hashimer himself has no health pool or anything like that. And then any shield spells that you have that you can actually use, like when you're receiving damage and stuff from an opponent, depending on which opponent is attacking you using Hashimer, they would receive whatever the effects of the shield spell are. As a quick size comparison, here's Hashimer next to Skulltopper, who, as you know, is currently in Pink Purgatory. His base size is the same as Lucifero, but he's a lot more short. But when playing on a big board with 6 people, he still has an imposing visage. My overall thoughts on the Blood School of Magic, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's not really my playstyle, because it forces you to get in there and play close combat, and I prefer playing at range, keeping my distance, and actually using spells that allow you to manipulate and command models and points and players. Just different things. I like spell schools that have variety. Blood is very straightforward. You get in, deal damage, do poison, attack melee, use Hashimer. And that's pretty much it with it. I found that Blood works best mostly with itself. It does have affinity with those other spell schools that it listed in the instruction book that I read off earlier. But I feel a lot of the infinity there is a little situational. You get more bang for your buck just by going straight up blood magic. But it does work decently with destruction and transmutation. Specifically the transmutation spells that allow you to transform into the abomination, which allows you to get in and do more physical damage as well. But if you're going for room destruction, a lot of the transmutation spells aim more for that, and Blood really doesn't have anything for that as far as point scoring goes. So as always, the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, comment, click that bell icon. Until the next video, this is Geek, signing out.